Fursuits! They're those things that furries wear to represent their persona, usually. Hi everyone, my name is Stormi the Folf, and in this video I'm going to show you what you got to do to get a fursuit for yourself. First and foremost, this is probably the most important step of all. Get yourself a piece of paper and a pencil or a pen or marker. I want you to write the letters D-H-G-A-T-E. It should spell out D-H-G. What I want you to do next is rip it apart. Or try to. Try to rip it apart. First world problem, can't rip up paper. Anyway, rip the paper apart in as tiny pieces as possible. And next thing I want you to do is burn it with adult supervision, of course. The point I'm trying to make here is don't ever buy a fursuit from dhgate.com. They are known for selling stolen fursuit designs. Of course, the build quality is god-awful. And on top of that, you're supporting thieves when you buy a fursuit from them. Don't ever buy fursuit from dhgate.com. There are other sites that are guilty of doing this, that make fursuits in China, that knowingly rip off other fursuit designs. Just don't do it. You'll end up with a fursuit that's likely to fall apart within the next 2 or 3 months, maybe sooner than that. Anyway, next you'll need a fursona. While it is possible to buy a fursuit without a fursona, you'll be purchasing one that's either secondhand from a furry marketplace of sorts, or you might be able to get one made if you give the suit maker their own artistic liberty. Basically, personally, in my own opinion, you really need to get your own fursona. That's just me. You can either make your own, or you can buy one from a furry Facebook market page. Next, you'll need a reference sheet for your fursona. If you don't have one, there are a ton of artists out there on furry Facebook groups all over the place, in Telegram groups, and all the other social media groups that I don't know about who will do this for you. For a fee, of course. Along with some fursuit makers that will also create a reference sheet for you. Now, once you've had the reference sheet taken care of, you need to consider your budget for the fursuit. How much are you looking to spend on a custom-made animal costume? Something that you walk around for fun, that you might wear maybe a few times a year, maybe you wear it every month, or maybe you're like me, you wear it every single week for these silly little videos. Do you want a full suit? Maybe you want a partial like I have. Heck, maybe all you want is the headpiece. Both partial and fursuit prices can range anywhere from $800 to $5,000 or more. It's an expensive hobby to say the least. You have to keep this in mind. Making fursuits is a very complicated and time-consuming process. On top of labor, you're also paying for the material. Of course, you can always enter a raffle or a contest in hopes of winning a fursuit, but for most of us, that's just not going to be the case. Additionally, these prices can wildly vary between suit makers, but in my opinion, you should be prepared to spend anywhere from $1,000 to $1,500 if you want a quality partial suit. This includes the head, the paws,
the peat and sleeves, which I somehow forgot to mention,
the tail, and occasionally the legs, which can either be plantigrade or digigrade. If you can't afford your suit right away, chances are there's a maker out there that will be willing to work with you on a payment plan, which could be something like anywhere from $100 a month, $300 a month, something like that. A little note on the legs. Plantigrade legs are easier to walk in, but digigrade legs can give you that more animal-esque appearance, if that makes sense. Just look at the pictures, you'll see what I mean. Digigrade legs also generally cost more than plantigrade due to the fact that there's more material and labor involved with making them. That's generally why they cost more. Once you've made up your mind on whether you want a partial or a full suit, and a digigrade or plantigrade legs, or no legs, it's time to find a suit maker. There are several ways you can go about doing this. If you don't have a fursona, you could consider buying a used fursuit from Furbuy, but remember that buying a... I can't breathe. If you don't have a fursona, you could consider buying a used fursuit from a place like Furbuy, but remember that buying a used fursuit means also becoming a character you didn't create, or you'll be under the constraints of the fursuit if you decide to make your own character with that fursuit. You really need to discuss the terms with the seller first before you make any kind of purchase like this. Additionally, you can buy a custom suit from a Furbuy seller, but again, In my opinion, I feel better going straight to the seller instead. There are a ton of fursuit makers you can go to. There's Splinter Fox, there's Made For You, Lemon Bread. Before you go off and choose any maker, spend some time looking at examples of their work and look up some reviews. Consider the style of their fursuits. Do you feel like it would fit your persona? You don't want to just pick any fursuit maker, especially one that may have a history of scamming their buyers. Got a friend with a fursuit? Ask them where they got it. Spend some time researching who you want to commission to make your suit before you just dole out $1,000 to the first artist you see. That is very silly. Also remember that most fursuit makers have a queue, so they can't just immediately start working on your suit the second you pay them. Many suit makers also operate on a seasonal basis. They may be closed for commissions during certain times of the year. In this case, you'll either have to wait it out or decide on another fursuit maker. Additionally, some fursuit makers operate on a lottery system. Still getting over this crud. Meaning your suit may be picked if they prefer it out of the other requests they have received. This is especially prominent with very popular fursuit makers that receive high demand. Your request may also be accepted or rejected based on the complexity of your persona's design. If a suit maker feels like they wouldn't be able to properly create your fursuit based on your persona, they may turn you down. Don't see this as a bad thing, however. Chances are there's another suit maker out there who will be more than willing to work with you. Finally, once you've selected your fursuit maker, make sure to have all your contact and payment information handy and ready. Some fursuit makers have a website where you can submit a quote. Others may require you to contact them directly through Facebook, email, Telegram, and so on. Every maker runs their business differently. Once you've sent in your request, be prepared for a short wait period. This can be anywhere from a few days or even a few months, especially if they're currently closed for commissions. Again, some fursuit makers only operate on a seasonal basis. They may be closed during certain times of the year. Be patient. In general, it's extremely important to be patient when you're having a fursuit made. After you've heard back from them, your maker will discuss the terms with you with regards to cost, work in progress pictures, and usually a schedule on when they may expect your suit to be finished. This could be anywhere from a few weeks to over 12 to 16 months based on my experience. If time is of the essence to you, try asking the maker when they expect your suit to be finished once they've responded to your quote. I understand this kind of sucks, but short of buying a used fursuit, there is no instant ramen noodles way to get a fursuit. There just isn't. You kinda have to deal with this reality. Very rarely will you get a fursuit made in a few weeks or less. This could be like if a suit maker is open for emergency commissions. That's about the only way I could see someone get a fursuit made very quickly, short of buying one that's already pre-made. Also, at some point or another, you will need to mail in a duct tape dummy. There are several tutorials online that cover how to make one, or you could ask the maker themselves to send you a link to one that they prefer you to use. Your maker will let you know when you need to send it in. Me personally, my suit took about 6 to 7 months to receive from the very second I paid for it to the day I received it. Do not expect to have your fursuit in the mail like 2 weeks after you paid for it. Just don't. You look like an idiot. You will look very silly and likely annoy your suit maker. You really want to leave a good impression as a commissioner. Doing this will leave yourself with a happier maker and possibly even score you some discounted fursuit upgrades or accessories in the future. Once you've received your fursuit, take your time brushing it out, then slowly but surely start to put everything on. Don't be afraid to ask your maker for help if you can't put the suit on. Take your time. If it all fits perfectly and looks exactly as they described it, then congratulations, you are now a fursuiter. Just remember that doesn't make you better than any of the other furries. It's this annoying misconception that in order to be a furry, you have to have a fursuit. And then there's the other one where you can't attend a furcon without a fursuit, which is just very, very silly. Most people who even attend furcons don't have fursuits to start with. You can't, contrary to popular belief, you can be a furry and attend furry conventions without having a fursuit. It's as simple as that. Now, if you received your fursuit and something doesn't look quite right, contact your maker immediately and explain the situation. Send pictures and describe every flaw in detail to the best of your ability. Don't be rude about it. Something could have happened to the fursuit in shipping, for all we know, It could have been something they did wrong. It could have been something UPS did wrong. Just contact your maker right away and be professional about it. Now, if the maker cares about their reputation, they'll usually respond anywhere from a few days to hopefully no more than a few weeks tops, short of an emergency, of course. If they don't respond, well, you may have to start a PayPal claim or even take legal action. I'll make a separate video on situations like this in the future. It's something I'd really like to cover. Anyway guys, I really hope this video was helpful. I'm really sorry if my voice sounds raspy. I am finally getting over the flu that I've had for the last 3 or 4 days, and it's been hell. This wasn't meant to be an all-inclusive video. I'm well aware I'm overlooking a few things with regards to getting a fursuit. It's things I'd like to cover in separate videos, basically, like what if you can't afford a fursuit? What if a fursuit maker screws you over? What if a buyer screws you over and you're a fursuit maker? Things like that I'd like to cover in the future. Anyway, I hope this video helped some of you guys out there at least. I hope it helped at least one person. Even one person, that would make me happy. Anyway guys, I hope this video was helpful. I tried to cover all my bases on getting a fursuit, but I'm well aware that I am overlooking a few things. I'm pretty sure someone in the comment section is going to try to correct me or discipline me, and if you want to, then go right ahead. Anyway guys, like, subscribe, comment, share, do all the things for me, okay? I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye bye!